Thank you, Madam Chair. In your opening remarks, Representative Pilkington, and even Senator Ballinger at the Senate Judiciary meeting that the bill passed out of a few weeks ago, there was a lot of back and forth in terms of data that exists or may not exist as it relates to the application of stand your ground laws and the impact on African Americans and other minorities. And I just wanted to share a couple of points with you before I ask my question. I just read earlier, as you were making your remarks, Representative Wilkinson, that there was the Urban Institute analyzed stand your ground. In their analysis, they looked at several cases across multiple states and found that after controlling for relevant factors, a white civilian shooter who kills a black victim is 350% more likely to be found justified than if the same shooter killed a white victim. And we've seen several sort of data points like that. And rather than get into a back and forth about, what authorities are real, what studies have been done, what's accepted by whom, I'd like to point to real-life examples that many African Americans have seen play out in real life, whether we're talking about in 2012, as it related to Trayvon Martin, which we're all aware of, and I think when America became more aware of the law, or even if we talk about last year, in 2020, when Ahmaud Arbery was shot down in cold blood, both in San Diego State. Now, I want to point to my experience last year when I was someplace where I could be lawfully talking to someone, not violating the law, standing next to my car, not on anyone's property, and I was accosted verbally along with the person I was there with. Ultimately, there was a gunshot that rang out not too far away from me in the dark. We had no really knowledge of where it was coming from, and the bottom line is I could have very easily have taken my weapon, which I had, and shot into the distance where that gunshot was coming from, and I would have killed somebody, could have killed somebody's grandmother because of the circumstance that felt heated and threatening in the moment, but that was not threatening. That person could have killed me, and then I would have been dead and not able to tell someone that she was the aggressor. So my question to you is, since in 2 years you guys have worked with law enforcement to create these exceptions, but in an environment that we saw, whether in the nation's capital on June 6th or right here in the Capitol where people have bought guns and all kinds of reports about a possible civil war, you can imagine the concern that many African Americans have whether we carry weapons or not, and I carry one. How do we deal with the confusion behind what the law is and how it applies before you get to a point where someone would be shot? How would people know what their rights are when, if this bill passed, all people would know is we're a stand your ground state?
Thank you, Representative Flowers, for those statements. There's a lot to unpack there, so